There are only a few places on Earth that are larger than life. Paris is one of them, but sadly we keep meeting people who say this city doesn't live up to the hype. Too crowded, too expensive. The truth is, Paris only disappoints if you do it wrong.
Wow, look at this.
We've been here 8 times and we've cracked the code on how to see Paris at its best. We'll show you how to skip the crowds, find the best food, and avoid the mistakes most travelers make.
We are starting off in the heart of historic Paris. This is the Hôtel de Ville, the city hall, and it has been since the 14th century. You can see that this facade is covered with 108 statues of famous Parisians, from philosophers to politicians. During the French Revolution, they actually used to hold public executions on this very square. So I am going to be on my best behavior today. And then on the other side of the square, you have the beautiful Seine River.
Now, nothing is more Parisian than a cafe with a nice little traditional brekkie. Now, I have kept things civil, unlike him. This is a pain au chocolat, a flaky little pastry filled with chocolate. So soft and buttery.
After all, we are in Paris, so I am having the famous French crepe, le chantilly.
We were able to go inside. Over the next 2 days, we're going to show you some of the most magical activities in the city, from the Louvre and the Eiffel Tower to a dinner cruise on the Seine. Next up,
this is the Notre Dame Cathedral. It's actually located on this small island in the middle of the Seine River, and it was built over 850 years ago. We're actually really lucky to even be able to visit this cathedral, because in 2019 a fire nearly destroyed the whole thing. It burned down the roof and the central spire collapsed. But what's actually really heartwarming about that is the French love the Notre Dame so much that within a few days of the fire, over 800 million euros in donations that already poured in from all over the country, from normal families and even school kids across France, so they were able to rebuild this whole thing.
I really love the dramatic style of the church. It's Gothic with the stained glass windows, really high ceilings, over 100 feet high. And on the outside you have the impressive gargoyles. Quick tip, it gets really busy here and you might have to queue up for a really long time. But if you come early around 9 a.m. like us, then you can just walk right in. And it's completely free too.
Now we're going to visit the most iconic museum in the world. It's larger than the Vatican, older than the US, and valued at $545 billion. So even Elon Musk could not buy this baby.
Wow, this room is just incredible. Like, there's all paintings and gold on the wall. All the statues you can see here, these are all sculptures.
Now everyone comes here to see one painting. There's 35,000 pieces in the Louvre. If you were to spend just 30 seconds looking at each one, it'll take you 100 days just to get through the museum. But have you ever wondered why the Mona Lisa is so famous? Because when you see her in person, I'm gonna be honest, she's a little bit meh.
Leonardo da Vinci painted the Mona Lisa in the 1500s. For centuries, she was just another portrait on the wall of the Louvre. Until one summer morning in 1911, when a museum handyman walked in and stole her right off the wall. Suddenly, her face was on every newspaper. The world had to know what happened to her. Turns out, the thief was Italian and he stole her to bring her back to Italy. 2 years later, the Mona Lisa was back in the Louvre, no longer just a portrait, but a global obsession.
While everyone else is queuing up over there just to catch a glimpse, they're walking past this beast of a painting, the Wedding Feast at Cana. It is 10 meters wide, 30 feet. It is the biggest painting in the Louvre.
Now we're going to find the real highlights of the Louvre. They are magnifique, but we are going to need the map. Let's go, on y va.
So we've now entered the hall for the Greek era, And here you have the Venus of Milo. She's the goddess of beauty, and the reason why she is so special and famous is because this is one of the only original Greek statues in the Louvre. The other ones you see over here are more modern copies, but she is over 2,000 years old. As you walk through these corridors, sometimes the next masterpiece just floats toward you. This is the Victory of Samothrace. It depicts the goddess Naick, the goddess of victory and sports shoes, although she doesn't have a head or any arms, so I'm not sure if she's the best depiction of victory.
There is so much more incredible art in the Louvre, but before we go to lunch, most people have no idea that before the Louvre was a museum, it was a royal palace.
To this day, you can actually still visit the royal apartments, and this is where Napoleon III used to live. Wow, look at this, unbelievable. Everything is covered in silk, even on the walls, and gold and crystals, and it's unreal.
Now, very important, if you want to come here, book your tickets in advance, because if you want to book today, it's sold out for the next 2 weeks and we almost couldn't get in. We bought our tickets on GetYourGuide. The great thing with GetYourGuide is that you get a timed entry ticket, so you don't have to queue up, you can just go inside. So be sure to book them in advance. We'll leave the links in the description box below to make it a bit easier for you. We're now in Saint-Germain-des-Prés. It's a really nice neighborhood. We found a great restaurant with amazing reviews, and when we walked in we actually realized we've been here before 4 years ago. I took one of their house specialties, a very, very French dish which is called coq au vin. It's a chicken stewed for a very, very long time in red wine. So we get this thick red wine sauce, there's bacon in there and mushrooms. Just smells amazing, and the guy told me they use the same red wine I'm drinking to make the sauce, so they don't use the cheap stuff. Bon appetit! Wow.
And I have probably my all-time favorite French dish, the beef tartare. This is raw minced beef. Might sound a little bit weird, but it's actually super delicious. They put all sorts of condiments in there, fresh herbs, a little bit of onion, and of course, some French fries. So for desserts, how amazing does this look? And I think it's healthy because underneath the thick layer of whipped cream is some fruit. And we also have a café noisette, which is what they call these tiny little espresso coffees that they add just a dollop of milk to. Now we're gonna go to Montmartre, and then tonight we are going to do a beautiful cruise on the Seine River, which I'm really excited about.
And the best way to get around in Paris is taking the metro, because the road's underground, you don't get stopped by traffic, and it's really cheap and easy.
So we've now arrived to the Quartier of Montmartre, located a little bit on top of a hill overlooking Paris. Montmartre initially started as a small village, but over the years it was swallowed up by the city of Paris. But even to this day, it still has that quaint, cozy charm.
We're now on Place du Tertre, which is a famous square here on Montmartre, and we had planned to come here because it's usually like this quaint little square with a few artists, but it's actually super, super busy. It almost feels like Disneyland.
Not really what we were hoping.
This is the reality of travel. Like, we show you all the beautiful spots, but we also want to show you like our own fails and the own things that we encounter that are not really optimal. It's still a pretty cool square, but not the vibe we're going to.
I think we can do better.
And here on Montmartre you also have the famous I love you wall, which says I love you in a lot of languages. How much?
I think it's over 300. And here it says it in Dutch, ik hou van jou.
So it's our local language
Which
in
is
Belgium.
what we speak.
Behind me you have the famous Sacré-Cœur Basilica. It sits on top of the hill. It's one of the highest points in Paris. And you can have a really nice 180-degree view of different parts of Paris. It's really cool. You can take some cool pictures here. But maybe come here for like a quick stop on Montmartre. Don't spend too much time here because you might end up like getting a bit disappointed.
We want to do something a little bit more Parisian feeling this evening, a little bit more magical. So we're gonna do a dinner cruise on the Seine River, which is supposed to be an incredible way of seeing the city. You get to glide past all of the main sites and just admire them from the water.
We have changed clothes. You always look beautiful, but tonight you look extra beautiful.
I am super excited about this. So far, it is so much better than I expected. I didn't know that the whole roof and the entire side of the boat would be in glass. So you have this incredible view of the river and all the beautiful sides sliding past, and the food is really good. I had the crab appetizer. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we have le bœuf, le beef, with les patates, the potatoes, and a mystery French sauce. Best cruise ever.
Really, this is so soft and flavorful. We booked this cruise on GetYourGuide. We looked around for cruises with good reviews. This one had thousands of reviews with an average of 4.6 or 4.7, which is highly exceptional. I think it's great, fantastic to just splurge a little bit when you're on holiday, and this is one of those splurges that really makes it magical. By the way, this right here is the Louvre Museum. You can see it right from the Seine. Wow. Cheers, guys.
Little did we know, the most magical part of this evening
It's one of the best desserts I've had ever in Paris.
was yet to come.
This morning we're starting off with the second most visited place in all of Paris. This right here is Galerie Lafayette, a luxury department store, and it has over 10 football fields worth of shopping area.
And we're here to buy my very first Louis Vuitton purse.
What? Say what now? Now this place has two really cool things to do that are completely free. First, we're gonna grab some breakfast. No, it's not the croissant that's for free. If you grab it and run off, you will get arrested.
Now we're going to head up a few floors. You have this. You can see this beautiful glass dome here that Lafayette is actually famous for. But what is even cooler? Wow, incroyable, as a French would say. This is le glace walk. You can come up here totally for free. All you have to do is book a spot like a day or a few days in advance. They give you a time slot. You don't have to pay anything. You get to have this beautiful view of the famous glass dome of Lafayette.
For the next cool thing, you head up to the 6th floor, it's the highest floor, and then go up one more.
This is called Paris-Brest. Inside a praline cream, and there's powdered sugar and almonds on top. That's incredible.
And all of that with a free view of the Eiffel Tower. Tonight we're gonna visit the Eiffel Tower. You can visit during the day, but at night there's a light show. It's supposed to be really cool, and we've got tickets to go up there during the light show.
So we're now going to be visiting the most extravagant, the most over-the-top palace in the entire world, Versailles. It's also got a little bit of a dark history to it, which I'll get into in a little bit. This palace is the size of 12 football fields and has over 2,300 rooms. We're only going to show you the best of the best ones, but look at this, like gold everywhere, frescoes on the ceiling.
Versailles started as a basic little hunting lodge in the middle of a swamp. But then Louis XIV, Louis XIV, was crowned King of France at just 23 years old. Barely old enough to rent a car today, but already calling himself the Sun King. In his mind, the universe revolved around him. So he bulldozed over the lodge and built a palace so massive, so absurdly over the top, it made every other royal residence look like a tool shed.
The Royal Chapel. This, people, is what happens when you give a 23-year-old unlimited power and unlimited budget. Now, as you can imagine, Louis behaved like a bit of a brat. And some very weird stuff also went down here. Every morning at around 8 a.m., the king would have his valet come and wake him up. Then they would invite all the nobles of the court to gather in the bedroom to watch the king get dressed.
What?
Yeah. And if you're allowed to hand him his wig or maybe his trousers or hold his socks for a few seconds, that was actually a really good sign that you were held in good regard and that you were still A-okay in his court.
I hold you in very high regard, Kim, so tomorrow morning you can hold my sock.
Do you have a $2 billion palace?
Yes, depends on the currency, but I do. The Hall of Mirrors contains 17 of these large mirrors. And the reason why they did this is because mirrors were super rare back then, so this was kind of like a big flex. Now we come to the interesting questions. You might wonder, who was paying for all this? Aha!
Not the nobles. They were mostly exempt from taxes. No, that burden fell on the poorest 98% of the population. Their royal family lived in gold-plated halls with crystal chandeliers, all paid for by the people. Eventually, the people had enough. During the French Revolution, an angry mob dragged the king and queen from their palace, and they were beheaded on a public square. From that point on, the country was headed in a different direction.
This is one of the highlights of Paris, and that also means that tickets are sold out for the next week, so you have to book this quite well in advance. We got our tickets on GetYourGuide, which is a platform that has thousands of activities in cities all across the world. They give you a timed entry ticket, which means you just come here and you don't have to queue up. You get to go right in. We'll put all the links to the tickets that we bought in the description box down below. Definitely go and check them out.
This restaurant looks quite grand actually, and if you would just see the restaurant you would think it's super expensive, but au contraire, mon frère. This place is called Bouillon République. Bouillon is kind of like a local restaurant where like the factory workers used to go. Prices are crazy. Entree is like 3, 4, 5 euros. A main course is like 9, 10, 11.
These are called rillettes in French. So usually this is meat that has been cooked in its own fat for a really long time until they can kind of shred it up. But in this case, it's not meat, it's actually sardines. This is amazing. And it costs 3 euros, but the flavors in there.
Of course, we have some wine. This is a duck leg, which has been stewed for a very, very long time. Meat is so tender and succulent.
And I have a salad done the French way. What do they add to the salad? A little bit of grilled goat cheese. We also have some bacon. This place has almost 30,000 reviews. It is packed. So definitely come here if you ever find yourself in Paris and in need of a little bit of munching.
We've just entered Père Lachaise, which is one of the greenest areas in all of Paris. It's a big park, but there's something different here. This is actually a cemetery. It's actually one of my favorite places in Paris because I don't know, it's so cool. Père Lachaise is kind of laid out like a miniature city. The graves aren't just like simple headstones. There's just like chapels, Gothic arches, iron gates, marble statues.
Back in the day, people really used their final resting place as a way to show off their wealth. Some of these structures you can see here today are actually worth more than a Paris apartment.
You know, there's actually over 1 million people buried here. It's also the worst place to come in case of a zombie apocalypse.
There's also a lot of famous people buried here. You have Oscar Wilde, the famous poet who wrote, "To live is the rarest thing in the world. Most people exist, that is all." You have Edith Piaf, the French chanson singer. And then maybe the most notorious person on the entire cemetery, Jim Morrison, who was the lead singer of The Doors. They had the section of his grave. It's the only grave they did that to because fans used to actually come here, light up a joint, and then put it next to the grave. Personally, I think Jim would be like, "Dudes, what are you doing? This was pretty awesome." So sometimes Paris can be a little bit go, go, go. It's a big city. There's a lot of stuff you want to see. It's also really hot. We've already done about 15,000 steps today, so we're gonna change up the pace a little bit and do something completely different. So we were just on our way to the Eiffel Tower, and there was this beautiful stop that we wanted to do in between.
We wanted to come to this place, Shakespeare and Company. It's like a really famous old school bookstore. Looks amazing. But as you can see, the line goes all the way from there to, I don't even see the end of the line. A lot of people get disappointed in Paris. There's even a whole name that they invented for this. It's called Paris Syndrome. People come with very high expectations and then get disappointed. But the French have a very unique problem-solving method, which I'm gonna show you right now. Step 1. Step 2. We are armed and dangerous with our baguette. Cheers. French say there's no problem you cannot solve with a bottle of wine, baguette and some cheese. If you finish the wine and the baguette, just buy another bottle of wine and start over until the problem is solved.
Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat.
It is time for the Eiffel Tower. We only tried to book these tickets a couple of days in advance and the tickets were sold out.
For the elevator. This is the elevator
At
right
least
here.
the tickets for the elevator that goes up to the first and the second floor.
Don't be us. Book
So don't be
several
us.
days in advance. Eiffel Tower views, baby. One more floor before you can see the light show.
Yeah, they were all yellow. I came along. I wrote a song for
We have officially made it to the second floor. Woo!
So cool. I can see all the boats on the Seine.
You go straight from the back.
you know I love you so.
Magical. Look at all the lights. If you want to see more of Paris, go watch our Paris food tour right here, or watch our don'ts of traveling Paris right here.
I jumped across for